It's Reading and Leeds Festival, and I'm here with Dry the River. How are you?
Good, thanks, yeah.
Good. You?
Very well, yeah. I'm good.
Now, 2011 you played the Festival Republic stage. This year you're playing Enemy Radio 1 stage. How does it feel to be on a different stage?
It's really exciting, yeah. We're on a stage this year with like some incredible bands that we really love. Mastodon and At the Drive-In are sharing a stage with us, and it's a pretty big stage, so we're really excited.
We last year played, the Festival Republic stage last year was kind of, at the time, was the biggest stage we'd ever played, and I think we got quite lucky with Reading and Leeds. It rained and the tent sort of filled out with people who didn't really know who we were. But this year the stage is even bigger again. I think is again the biggest stage we've ever played.
Yeah, I think it will be the biggest show, yeah.
So we're really excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Looking forward to it.
As you said, you're big fans of At the Drive-In. They've got quite a distinctive way of behaving on stage. Do you reckon you could kind of imitate that if someone like me asked you to do it?
Imitate the way they behave on stage?
Yeah.
Not while sitting down, no.
Well, shall we get up and do it? Are you game, Scott of the River?
Should we do Omar and Cedric impressions?
You can definitely do a...
I think I can do the Omar legs. He has that kind of legs thing where he's like, he plays the guitar and he kind of does the little shaky legs.
That's it. That's an absolute Omar.
You've nailed it.
Can't do it that well,
I bet you've nailed it.
Down.
Now,
I need a tight-fitting suit as well to go with it.
And your hair needs to have more volume,
I
I
had
think.
the afro.
Now, I've heard that you look at bands that you tour with and you try and pick up things that they do, whether it's how they set up things on stage. Is there anything that you've taken away that's really improved what you do?
One thing we do is have our amps off stage now. We realised part-way through touring that our stage was so loud that we couldn't really hear.
We like to have the
what
amps
we were
turned
doing.
up to 11, so when you have them all on stage it kind of blasts everything. You lose the vocals and the drums and stuff, so yeah, now all the guitar amps are hidden somewhere backstage in a little room, and we just have the monitoring just to get us through.
And the poor support bands are sitting there in the dressing room getting blasted by Matt's guitar amp for the whole set.
But in terms of what we've lifted from other people, I'm not sure. Trying to think of stuff.
Michelle Magic Numbers, you stole a fair amount of her
Stole
bass.
a lot of her moves, lifting the bass up high.
The bass licks,
I like to sort of copy a bit of that.
Yeah.
And from the Antlers, I think we kind of like they have these huge kind of noise bits where it just kind of goes crazy, and they're all doing like crazy
I actually
layered.
went and bought about 1 million effects pedals after we toured with the Antlers. Just
We were so jealous of their big pedal boards,
pedal boards.
Yeah.
Are you gadget geeks? Do you love all those sort of technical WizKid things?
I think everyone, if they're in a band for long enough, becomes that way. Even if you know nothing about it to begin with, you start to geek out and ask other guitarists what they're using and how they get their sounds, and you steal it.
I actually find I'm not at all. I still use nothing. I just plug straight into the amp, and I'm not even that fussed. Sometimes the sound guy will be like, how do you want it to sound? So I'm like, it's a bass. I don't
Like
know.
a bass?
Yeah, just make it sound good. I don't really know anything about it, but usually, hopefully it comes out all right.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Now, how's your VHS collection coming along? Last time I spoke to you, you were on the hunt for Street Fighter, I think. Have you
got it?
We got Street Fighter, yeah. We got Street Fighter. Someone on Twitter responded and got us a copy of that, and a lot of the venues have been sort of cottoning on to the fact that we're wanting them now, and we get a fair few. The collection is actually pretty huge now.
We get sometimes 3 or 4 a show, actually.
Yeah.
People, like all the promoters, try and outdo each other about which ones they can get us. We've had some, some.
Most
some
recent one
gems.
was King of New York, Christopher Walken, but we've had some like a Jackie
Fugitive
Chan, The Fugitive, a few Harrison Ford classics. And Johnny, our drummer, he's the only one who actually has the VHS player. None of us even have one, but he has it set up next to his practice kit in his room. And so I'll wake up in the mornings just hearing him, doing drum practice. And at the same time, anytime he sort of stops playing, you can see this blastingly loud videotapes being played out because he has it on while he practices because he gets so bored. Yeah, well, he's doing such boring, rudimentary patterns and stuff that he has to sort of watch something while he's doing it. So they're getting good playback, those VHSs.
What's on the most wanted list now, though?
I don't know. You have to ask John.
Congo, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I really want that. The gorilla film.
Yeah, I know it well.
Great movie.
Yeah. Okay, and now what about condiments? I know you're a big fan of condiments. What's on your Reading and Leeds condiment wish list?
Oh my god.
On the rider, it just has an unusual condiment, and the promoter can kind of decide what they want to give us. We've had some good ones, but we're mainly into like Branston
hot
pickle.
sauces, pickle works. I love. We got it on one rider a while back. It's called like Cholula. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's
Cholula,
like a hot
yeah.
sauce. And this running out, the one that we tour with in our condiments case. We have a case, where we store them all that we take on tour. and the one that we have in there is just about to run out, so I'm hoping that it will time out nicely and someone else will give us a bottle of Cholula before that one finishes.
Scott and John are always complaining the hot sauces aren't hot enough, and that's one that meets up to the expectation.
Well, that's just a nice flavour filled.
There's a pickle called Mrs. Ball's chutney or something. It
sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's South African though, and it's incredible. And we're running out of that as well.
Yeah,
to get it.
So make it happen, Reading and Leeds.
Yeah,
Sort you out.
Definitely.
Hopefully.
Now, we've got an image of rock stars, like the harem of women, the debauched life. What is it for a folk band that's got a hint of hardcore as well in it? What is, describe the image Backstage or the lifestyle that goes along with that?
Somebody actually, when we played in Newcastle, tweeted saying, Dry the River are a very sexual band on stage.
Oh, hello.
Which I was quite surprised about. I thought we were... Scott does quite a lot of sort of pelvic thrusting when he's playing the bass, quite a lot of kind of hip gyration, a little bit of Elvis.
It just comes naturally to me, what can I say?
Can't help yourself.
Can't help it.
You know, I think, yeah.
I'd like to feel that because we're kind of pretending we're in a rock band or a metal band all the time anyway, so Backstage, before we go on, we're kind of blasting out Pantera or Slayer or Iron Maiden, stuff like that, out of our little speakers that we tour with, and downing beers, shotgunning beers and stuff before we go on to try and get into the right frame of mind. So I'd like to imagine that it's fairly similar to what it is like Backstage at a real metal show, but whether or not it is, I don't know. I've never been in a metal band since I was
a side project, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need chat-up lines anymore, or just the women like, whatever, you're in a band, you're in Dry the River, loving it?
Yeah, sometimes you can just play on the I'm in a band line. Although a lot of the time it's like, oh, you go in there going, oh, what are you doing in town? Oh, I'm just in a touring band. We just played around the corner at the local, Normo Dome, whatever. And then they'll be like, oh, what's the name of your band? You can Dry the River. Oh, who? So it kind of works on one level, but at the same time, a lot of the time it falls flat on its face when no one knows who we are. So I don't know if you can rely on it so much.
You need to go Coldplay. I'm in this band called Coldplay.
Yeah, I'm the bass player. You wouldn't recognise me anyway, so
yeah, always go for the bass player.
I could easily be him, couldn't I? Let's face it.
We were in Paris, France once, and Scott and some people he'd met at the show, they were trying to get into a really exclusive kind of club in Paris, and they told the guy on the door that Scott was Caleb from Kings of Leon, and they got to jump the queue. They got a private booth, and he had to put on an American accent for the entire night. And when Sex on Fire came on, everyone stood up and turned to the booth and were like applauding.
Yeah. That was nice.
You enjoyed it, didn't you?
Oh, I was loving it, yeah. I recently got Simon Neil as well. I mean, I said to them, he doesn't look like that anymore, but they were like, oh no, but I've got this old poster where he looked exactly like you. Yeah, cool, great.
You've got to go with it.
Yeah,
apparently Scott's chat line is pretending he's in somebody else's band.
Hi, I'm Simon Neil. Don't know if you recognise me, I'm kind of a big deal.
Okay, well, if you had to use chat-up lines, what would it be, apart from pretending to be other people? Have you got any ones from back in the day?
Not sure. I just use the Miller stare, patented Miller stare.
The Miller stare. Scott and his brother just have a stare that's very powerful.
Just sort of, you just look over.
You turn it on.
I just melted right there.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Yes, still got it.
So, can you sum up Reading and Leeds Festival in 3 words?
Reading and Leeds.
Great. It's good.
Great. If people are wondering where they are, that's where they are.
I was thinking like young, insane. I mean, I went when I was 16 to Reading. I used to go every year when I was a kid and go absolutely crazy. I remember that time when I was walking the campsite. We had the ghetto blaster and we were doing the sort of 2 a.m. walk around, and this was on the Sunday night, I think a couple of years ago. And the security guard came up to us and just goes, turn that off, turn that. We were like, what are you talking about? This is Reading and Leeds, man. It's a fucking party. He was like, not tonight. Oh. So that's stuck in my mind as a description of Reading and Leeds for me. Not tonight.
Well, I think that's a good way to end. Probably not, but let's end it there anyway. Have a good one. See you there.
Yeah,
best of luck.
Cool, thank you.